Do you know why you make the decisions you make? You think you do, don't you? But do you really? In this video, we cover 9 lessons from Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Get ready for some interesting discoveries about behaviour. Lesson 1. Making comparisons. Lesson 1 is about making comparisons. Whether you're aware of it or not, you compare things all the time, and it affects every decision you make. Imagine you decide to buy a 4x4 pickup truck because you just moved to the countryside and need to get around on dirt road and be able to drive through snow in winter. Plus, your new farm means you have plenty of things to transport. You know nothing about cars. You go to the local dealership in a nearby town. As it turns out, they only have one pickup truck. They rattle off the specs, the price seems reasonable, but you don't know what it all means. You decide to drive further afield to another dealership. They have 2 pickup trucks. They explain the different specs and pricing. Looking back at the other pickup truck, you now see it offers superior value. You go back to purchase it. If you put an overpriced, ugly chair next to a decent-priced, decent-looking chair, it will make the decently priced, decent-looking chair look, well, really good. But in truth, it's not a great chair. It's just average. If you'd seen the chair on its own, you likely wouldn't have made a choice to buy it because there was no context, nothing to compare it to. The same logic will make you buy a cheap latte at your local coffee shop instead of drinking free coffee at the office. After all, you didn't buy the Mocha Grande for $5, just the latte for $3. Similarly, you will justify the local coffee shop as a place to get coffee if Starbucks is down the road and costs twice as much. But there's still free coffee at the office. It's just of inferior quality. I'm not quite sure about that one. There's also something to be said for throwing in a third item to compare with. Ariely uses the example of deciding whether to purchase a trip to Rome or a trip to Paris. Both trips have the same price. It's hard to choose. But if you throw in a third option of a trip to Rome for the same price but with breakfast included, that's the option most people will choose. Why? Because it's hard to choose between Rome and Paris, but easy to choose between getting an extra perk or not. So people focus their attention on Rome and forget about Paris. And this is why Amazon has a comparison tool. Lesson 2. Free is a powerful number. Lesson 2 is that free is a powerful number. A 0 can lure buyers into almost anything. Buy one, get one free. That's the same as buying both items half price. But what offer do you think will get the most buyers? Honestly, I don't know, but I can make an educated guess based on Ariely's examples. Ariely set up an experiment where he offered Hershey's Kisses for 1 cent and Lindt truffles for 26 cents. As people came to visit his stand, 40% went for Hershey's Kisses and 40% for Lindt truffles, while 20% bought neither. Presumably, people were willing to pay more for Lindt truffles as they were the superior product. Then Ariely decided to give away the Hershey's Kisses for free and charge 25 cents for the Lindt truffles. Now, 90% went for the Hershey's Kisses. Why? There was no investment needed, no potential loss. But the Lindt truffles were still the better product, and the price difference was the same as before. Another example Ariely gives in the book is an Amazon gift card. You could choose between getting a $20 gift card for $7 or a $10 gift card for free. The $20 gift card is better value, you get $13 for free. But guess what? 70% of people chose the $10 gift card. When you perceive there's nothing to lose, you are more motivated to go for that option, even if the product is less rewarding. When offered something for free, ask yourself what you're losing out on by choosing that option, such as the $20 gift card mentioned just now. And bear in mind that some things that are free will lead to cost in the future. A free puppy will cost you in food and healthcare bills. Lastly, some free options aren't good for you. Getting free food at a hotel where the food is unhealthy isn't truly a good deal, is it? Lesson 3. Once we own something, we think it's precious. Lesson 3 is once we own something, we think it's precious. You remember Gollum and his precious ring in Lord of the Rings, don't you? As it turns out, most of us think our possessions are precious. At Duke University, they decided to hand out baseball tickets in a raffle. The winners were asked how much they were willing to sell the tickets for. It came to over $2,000 per ticket. The people who hadn't won any tickets, on the other hand, were only willing to pay about $170 for the ticket. Once we own something, we attach sentimental value to it. To us, it becomes valuable, much more valuable than it would be to someone else. For the same reason, we're willing to pay more for something once we've imagined owning it already. If you step back and think objectively, you're more likely to negotiate a fair price. Also, once you own something, you might hold on to it and therefore lose out on other opportunities. Maybe your current business or house is worth selling for a lower price than you want to sell it for because of what you can gain by selling it. Lesson 4. Money isn't needed for motivation. Lesson 4 is that motivation doesn't always spring from the lure of getting paid. In short, money isn't needed for motivation. You can make someone work furiously for a social cause, such as a political campaign, for no money. They will put in endless hours supporting their cause. Once money is introduced, however, they'll start counting the hours put in and check how much it's earning them and if it's worth their time. If someone is helping out with a cause or doing you a favour, don't pay them in money, but reward them with a gift. Lesson 5. Instant gratification. Lesson 5 has to do with instant gratification. You've likely been told over and over again that we live in a world of instant gratification. Having a burger at McDonald's now feels better than the thought of avoiding a heart attack 10 years down the line. This is also why we procrastinate. We can enjoy watching Netflix now, or we can do our hard work and get an A on that exam. To avoid procrastination, not only set deadlines and create tight schedules, but also create rewards. For example, you can let yourself watch Netflix after you've studied for 3 hours. And every hour you get a 10-minute break where you can text your date or have a coffee or whatever it may be you feel is rewarding. The 15 Habits of Highly Successful People is a book summary I've done on here that's brilliant for improving your effectiveness. Lesson 6. We like to keep our doors open. Lesson 6 is that we like to keep our doors open. We like to take a break from a relationship rather than ending it because we fear what we will lose by closing the door. In the meantime, we're losing out on dating other people because we're holding onto that open door. Similarly, we don't want to take a leap and decide on a career path or a new job because what if we miss out on something else? Our ability to deliberate and hold on to things that no longer serve us often ends up with us missing out on opportunities that are much better. Lesson 7. The higher the price, the better it is. Lesson 7 is that we believe something is better if it costs more. That's just not true. The price does not determine how great a product or service is, but we think so. It's been proven in studies that when choosing the more expensive drug out of the two, people experience better relief from their symptoms. Yet the two drugs contain exactly the same medication. In other words, don't underestimate cheap brands and items and don't overestimate the more expensive ones. Use your judgment, not the price tag, to determine their value. Lesson 8. We trust companies that make mistakes. Lesson 8 is that we are more likely to trust companies that make mistakes. People are much more willing to part with their money if they trust the company that they're buying from. If the company has become known to deplete natural resources, that trust goes down. Likewise, if they don't acknowledge mistakes or try to keep a private profile, people are less likely to trust them. When companies are open about their mistakes, acknowledging them and apologizing for them, people are much more likely to trust them and to open their wallets for them. Lesson 9. People cheat when they don't know the cost of their actions. Lesson 9 is that people cheat when they don't know what it will cost others. Returning the used item of clothing isn't so bad, is it? You only wore it once for a date. But what does that cost the company you're returning the item to? They took the time to help you buy it. They processed your payment and took care of your refund. And you're not the only one wearing clothes you return. The time spent selling and returning clothes may easily cost a large international company $2 million a year. $2 million that company could have been paying out to well-deserved staff members. Now that you know that, are you likely to wear something and hand it back? People are less likely to cheat if they understand the true cost of their actions.